What is going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of ENA. We got time here with another off-season video for y'all. We got a guy representing the Indianapolis Colts. Um, he is a part of Sports After Dark, one of the best Twitter spaces out. He's also a writer for the Horseshoe Pride, and he is the host of Drop Balls podcast. Pause if necessary. We got my guy Sue, also uh, Miami Hurricane fan as well. Give it up for him. About to bring him up.
What's up,
Yo,
bro? Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, man?
you know what I'm saying? Talking some football. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people real quick. You know what I'm saying? Give an introduction.
Yeah, nah, like Alex said, see Lou, uh, just be on Twitter, man, talking my stuff on Twitter. But part of Sports at the Dark, y'all see the logo, Sports at the Dark. We do our sports media thing, whether it's on the Twitter Spaces or on YouTube, and then Horseshoe Pride is the Colts thing I run with with a couple of my Colts, former or not former, but Colts fans and everything. Meg, uh, Justin, Chip, all of them guys. We have a good time. It's others. So charge
Yeah,
it to my head, not my heart.
got
But yeah, the Horseshoe Pride thing, we got to get back in the lab with that too, though, because we got some off season stuff to talk about with the Colts, coming up with draft season and free agency coming up and everything.
yeah. All right. Well, look, let's go ahead and get to the first topic of discussion. How'd the fandom start? Like, how'd you become a fan of the Colts?
Yeah, so funny thing is I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Born and raised in Jacksonville. But I moved to Virginia when I was younger. Um, and so like around 98, really when I first started watching football, it was really between the Colts and the Falcons. Like those are the two teams that it was between, for me.
Yeah,
And watching both of them. And I know 98 was a terrible year for the Colts, but that was the first year with Peyton and everything. And I mean, I'm 8 years old, bro. Like, but I liked what I saw, like from Peyton and everything. I liked what I saw, Marvin Harrison and all that. So I just, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just rock out with the Colts. It turned out to be a good decision. I got me a ring. I seen a ring in my lifetime. Something Falcons fans can't really say. So it turned out to be a good thing. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it happened. It really wasn't no real thought behind it. It was just is these two teams, which one am I gonna pick?
that's kind of how it is. My story is a little similar to that. I'm from Louisiana, but I'm a Giants fan. Well, yeah, Eli got drafted. We went to New York. So all over, all you see is, you know what I'm saying, posters of Eli. And that was my favorite vacation as a kid. And I actually became a fan when I was 7. So, I got there, right before, the Super Bowl run. So I got to see two in my lifetime. That was nice. But back to your coach. So we're gonna get into your QB, but if you can, real quick, just give me your thoughts on the season, like overall, kind of how everything played out. We're gonna get into some specifics, but overall, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean overall, I'm not gonna say we overachieved because going into the season, I had us between 6 and 9 wins. I thought with our roster as constructed, we could get 6 to 9 wins.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm not really surprised there. It was shocking to see that we had a chance at the division in the playoffs, though. Like that to me was pretty shocking. That's what I was surprised by. But I mean that says more about our division more so than the actual Colts team or whatever. So, like I said, like I had us between 6 and 9 wins. So I was happy that that's where we was at. That's where we got to. We had the potential to win 10 or 11 games actually, though, which that would have been shocking because there were games like the Browns games or the Browns game, even that last Texans game, that really could have got us to 11 wins on the season had we won both of those games. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really shocked. Gardner Minshew, while he had his struggles, he was a quality backup for us. Like I'm not gonna never take that away from him. Like he was a quality backup. He came in and he did his job. He had his blunders. He had us out here frustrated at times, but for the most part, I mean, we probably don't get there without him. without him, with AR going down, and without Gardner Minshew stepping in and taking control of that thing. Um, I want our defense to get. I need our defense to get better though. That's the biggest thing. I need our defense to get better. They were young this year. We had a young team this year.
Okay, well, I guess this is kind of like the biggest question, obviously, besides the draft, resigns. Even though he got hurt, you did get to see some of him. What were your thoughts from what you saw? Like, what did you take away from what you saw? Obviously, Jonathan Taylor wasn't there. I think for majority of the time, he was there. So yeah, just tell me your thoughts on Anthony Richardson from what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, I thought really coming out out of Florida, everybody was saying how raw he was and things he needed to work on. When you go back and watch the tape, he was further along than you thought than most people thought. And then that really showed when he got into the league in the first few games he played, where it showed he's further along than what a lot of people thought he was. Now, is there things he needs to work on? Yes, like for sure. Um, I'm not going to say his accuracy is an issue, but I think, and this is the thing I said with him coming out of college, he has to be more consistent in his mechanics. If he can be more consistent in his mechanics, everything will fall in line. And mostly it's just with his footwork. It's not necessarily his arm angles or anything. It's mostly everything in his footwork. If his footwork can be more consistent, then the accuracy issues won't be there because it's not like he's missing people like crazy.
Yeah,
He was dropping dimes too, but it's not like he was missing hella. It was either he was going too high or the ball was too low most of the time. It wasn't anything like, oh, he's throwing wide left or wide right. It was either too high or too low. And that just lets you know he's probably floating back a little bit when he's throwing the ball, different things that he just probably has to tweak and get more consistent at, which we have the coaching staff and Shane Steichen um to help him with that and perfect that really. But I liked what I saw from him, especially in the Rams game. He that was the first game and the only game he really well, I still think he finished the first Jaguars game because he only missed like the last 3 plays. Like to
yeah.
me, you finished that game. Um,
Now,
but like,
what,
what's
what,
up?
what you were saying about him kind of sailing a couple of throws, I work with a guy who's a Colts fan. I was going through your roster, before we set this up. Y'all have kind of like an abnormally tall, excuse me, y'all have an
Yeah,
pass catchers, like from wide receiver to tight ends. A lot of these guys, y'all got 6'3", 6'4", 6'6". Like, you don't necessarily have. I know you got Josh Downs, but for the most part, all your guys are 6'2", 6'3", and up. You think that also might play a factor in him kind of sailing? Oh, well, this guy's 6'4". I can just throw it up to him. He can go get it, kind of thing.
nah, because it was the same thing in college. Like it was some of the same things in college, and where he had more receivers that are around like 6 foot and everything, he was still missing pretty high. I think it's just a consistency in his footwork. Now the thing is too, like having those 6'4", 6'3", 6'6" tight ends and receivers, it helps a little bit too though because you can miss high a little bit because they can go up and get it. Especially when you have like some that are freak athletes like Alex Pierce who had like a 40-inch vert, Jelani Woods, who's like 6'6", and had a crazy vert as well. And then, I mean, we've all seen Michael Pittman Jr. Um, so when you have some of those crazy athletes too, like it helps to where okay, I get like I can see what you're saying. Like I can miss high a little bit because I know I got guys that can go up and get it. Yeah, but I think most of it is just because of his footwork. Like I said, I saw the issues in college. It would be one thing if the issues weren't present in college, but then he got into the league and you kind of saw, then that would be one thing. But because it was college and then you see him in the NFL, I think it's just he got to get consistent with his footwork and then he can go from there. Anthony Richardson's a hard worker, bro. Like one of the things that going into that draft last year, everybody was saying, "Oh, well, Colts want Will Levis because they want somebody that's in love with football." Bro, if you ever heard Anthony Richardson talk or this, that, and the third, like whatever,
Yeah,
that boy is so in love with football, dog, because he know what it's done for him and his family, and he know what it can do for his family. And that dude, like they say walking around the facility, he got a football in his hand or he in his iPad. Like when they I think they went down to Miami and was throwing the ball around in Miami last year during the offseason, the Colts receivers and then Anthony Richardson. They said when he wasn't throwing, he was in his tablet going over the playbook, like going over plays and stuff like that. It wasn't that boy eat, sleep, and drink football, bro. Like,
Wasn't there a report like what? Well, when this dropped, it'll probably be a month. But wasn't there a report not too long ago about like they had to tell him, "Hey, like relax, like you're getting back to practice, but we don't need you to be, you know what I'm saying, over
yeah,
on this field already."
yeah, because he, coming off the shoulder surgery, he just got back to throwing, like it was his first day throwing or whatever. And they were saying they had to hone him in because like he was trying to let that thing go already. So it's like that like he loves the game and he wants to be out there. So I know he's gonna put in the work to get better. And I mean I think 2023 or 2024 is gonna be a hell of a season for him, especially because like you said earlier, JT only played maybe a few snaps with him before he got injured. Um and having him and JT back there, and then what other talent they add this offseason to the Colts. I don't know where they're gonna go in the draft for free agency, but I know they're gonna add some talent to that offense. So whatever other talent they add, as well as keeping Michael Pittman Jr. and stuff like that, it's going only the sky is the limit to me. Like the sky is the limit at this point. But I love what I saw from Anthony. That Rams game, man. Although he didn't have a good first half,
Mhm.
that second half was electric, bro. Like the second half he put together, but that's where I say the consistency thing is. Like you had a terrible first half, but you came out and you dominated the second half. If he can put 4 quarters together, this like if he can put 4 quarters together, man, like the Colts got another one, bro. Like that's all I can say.
All right, so we got the Anthony Richardson talk out the way. What about the bright spots? Give me some guys or some games where you were like, okay, well, I kind of don't think we will contend for the playoffs, so I kind of just want to see what we working with. What's some things that stood out for you last year? That I was like, okay, well, we can build on this, or he might be a
Yeah.
block.
Yeah, so one of the things is the culture change in the organization with the hiring of Shane Steichen. There was games besides like the Falcons game, but there was like it never really felt like we was out of a game. Um, I just seeing how those guys competed, to me that was a bright spot because looking from 2023 or 2022 to 2023, it just seemed completely different. Like the coaches just seemed completely different because like 2022, bro, if we was down, it was like, all right, it is over with.
Yeah,
2023 is like, oh shit, we down. All right. Oh, let's make a couple plays here. We can get back. But like the Falcons game, I mean, that was one of the games where it was just like, oh yeah, we ain't coming back because it just seemed like nothing was going right.
yeah.
But other than that, the bright spot was the culture shift that looked like we was going through in 2023. Um, Another bright spot I think was Alec Pierce. Listen, like I'm hard on Alec Pierce because of some of the drops and stuff like that. And him not always being open, but going back and watching some of the film, there was times where he was open downfield and Gardner just didn't take the shot or whatever. Um, but to me, that's a bright spot because it does seem like we have somebody that can take the top off and get open down the field. Is we just got to be able to take those shots sometimes. So to me, that was a bright spot. I don't know what we do at receiver, but Alec Pierce to me could be our deep threat. Even if we go get another receiver, he could be our deep threat at least. Um, Josh Downs, of course, is a bright spot. Getting JT's contract situated, that was I knew it was gonna happen, but that it was still a what if.
I bet after you were like, finally, bro. Now,
Yeah, yeah. Because now even after that happened, I could go back and tell everybody to shut the hell up. Like I could just go. But that was a bright spot. And our young guys on defense, granted, they had some growing pains, they had some communication issues, but for the most part, you could see the talent. You could see the talent. The talent was there. Now it's just a matter of them year two in the scheme, getting things right, getting things together. Juju Brent's finally getting healthy because that was the thing too. A lot of the miscommunication, bro, with him, he wasn't there for camp. Like he was hurt for camp, and then during the season he missed some games. So it's a him getting healthy. But when he was out there, the talent was prevalent. Like you could see he was talented. So that was a bright spot to me. So I mean, yeah, those are and that's a lot, but
yeah,
those are a few of the bright spots for me.
Well, next, you know what I'm saying, we covered the season. Now we're gonna break this down real quick, you know what I'm saying, because it's two different things. But let's go to the resigns. Who's getting re-signed, and then we'll focus on the draft. Who do you think is coming back, and who do you think y'all possibly go get in free agency? You know what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of guys in your fan base say they want Mike, they want Mike Evans. What
No.
where you at with who's coming back and who do you think y'all get in free agency?
Yeah, so for me, who's coming back? I think Michael Pittman Jr., Julian Blackman, Kenny Moore, Grover Stewart. I think they'll be back in the fold. As far as free agency, I think I would like to go get a corner personally. So I'm thinking Um, somebody like Kendall Fuller, kick the tires on Jalen Johnson from the Bears to see what's up with that. Where else can we go? We can go defensive end too, maybe. Like Brian Burns is likely going to be a free agent, so maybe go try to see what's up with him. But to me, those are the names that I would really want to Indy. Xavier Howard is another one. He got cut from the Dolphins yesterday. He's another one I wouldn't mind in Indy. But those are the names I would like to see in Indy. Maybe you go some other places, but those are the big names for me.
Okay, okay. What about the guys you wanna draft? Let's get into that because I trust me on Twitter. Look, for those of y'all who not in tune with Silu play ball for real, and he can really break this wide receiver position down. Now look, I done took some of your mock drafts, some of those wide starting, what I'm saying, pencil them in, and while I got some time, I'll go check out the tape. So he definitely knows what he's talking about with that. So go ahead and give me like two or three positions y'all need, and just give me some names of some guys you think will really help y'all out in the next coming season, and guys you just think are going to be really good or sleepers, even if they're not going to go to the Colts.
Yeah, yeah. So Brian Thomas Jr. is one of them that I want from LSU. Most definitely, he's a receiver from LSU that I think has a lot of talent. Only played 6 years of football, pretty much. I think it was his sophomore year in high school he started playing. Um, Brian Thomas Jr. is a big name. I think he has a ton of talent. And another one I think that can help us out is Tavondre Sweat, the defensive tackle from Texas. And I know you said two, but another one is to Jatavion Sanders from Texas as well, the tight end. I would love him in Indy as well. As far as some sleepers, man, Malachi Corley is one. I know he's getting talked about a lot now,
Mhm.
but Malachi Corley is one. And I think uh TJ Tampa and Cam Hart. Like those are maybe three players that I really love in this draft. Those are three players I really love in this draft.
What you think the kid from Virginia, Washington?
Oh, Malik Washington, he's a dog. He's
Yeah,
a dog, bro.
I think he's gonna be really good. If we wouldn't have Dale Robinson, I think he definitely be a guy to look at for sure. For
See, that's how I feel about him too. Because if we didn't get Josh Downs, then Malik Washington would definitely be somebody I wanted.
okay, okay, all right. Now you know you ain't gotta give me no record because there's draft, there's free agency. So just overall as a Colts fan, what are you expecting? Like going into the season, all right, I need to see this, and this, or whatever the case may be.
So going into the next season, what I need to see is that our defense is better. We hired a new defensive line coach. We hired a new assistant cornerback coach. I want to see that our defense has gotten better with those additions at the coaching staff. I want to see Quiddy Pay take a step because I know we're gonna keep him.
Mhm.
Of course. So I want to see Quiddy take a step, the next step, bro. Like I haven't seen it yet. I want to see him become a dominant edge rusher. I don't know if he has it in him. I mean,
Mhm.
I just don't know, but I want to see if he takes that next step with the new D line coach. Maybe he learns some new things, some new techniques from him or whatever, and that helps him. Um, I want to see our defensive line as a whole be better at creating pressure, and our secondary be better at holding up in the back end. Uh, to be honest, my expectations, I still don't really have like crazy expectations, but I do expect us to make the playoffs. And I another expectation is for AR to stay healthy. I need him to stay healthy and put together a full season this year so we can really see what he has. Um, those are, I mean, I don't have at this point. I don't really have any crazy expectations just because, like you said, free agency, the draft, things that's still to come. But at this point, based on what we do have, those are my expectations.
Hell yeah, hell. Well, look, much luck. To your Colts next year. We both Canes fans, so hopefully, the ball will bounce out
Yeah,
next year. You know what I mean?
for sure. We need that for sure.
Before I let you go, man, go ahead tell people where they can find you at. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the video, but go ahead and just let them know where to find you. Everything you got going on, stuff like that.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at dropballspod. You can find me on Instagram at dropballs_pod. Also on TikTok, I believe it's at dropballspod. But also go ahead and be sure to follow the Sports After Dark Instagram and Twitter as well. Um, and uh and TikTok. We're on TikTok now too. So if you just type in Sports After Dark, you should be able to find it. So be sure to follow those on those social media platforms too, because we trying to get it popping. 2024 our year, man.
Hey,
And
what y'all doing over there, man? Love it.
yeah, man. Hey, it's enough room for everybody to eat. So it's always love and support for everybody, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, look, I appreciate you for your time and your insight, man. For real, for real.
Oh, no problem, bro. I appreciate you having me on, man.
All right.
All right.
As always, y'all, I'm your host with another episode of ENA If We Got Time, and I'm out. Peace.